A very good evening to one and all present here with us today. I am Avipsha Ganguly of Apeejay Schools, and I'm very pleased to welcome you all to discuss and understand the various dimensions of a career that every student needs to choose in his or her life to become a significant self. Since a very young age, we invest heavily, consciously or unconsciously, in building our careers. It is the idea encompassing the growth and development of an individual driving their passions towards the desired goals. A career provides us satisfaction that gives purpose and meaning to one's life. Hence, to pursue the right career, counseling and mentorship is hugely beneficial. Hence, APG schools welcome you to the world beyond perspective and career. Before we proceed further, there are certain ground rules that we will follow for the entire session. Number one, all relevant conversations to take place via chat box only. Number two, no one to speak during the session excepting the speakers. Number three, questions, if any, may be typed in the chat box. Number four, please state the name of the word so we can identify who is typing. Number five, no one-on-one side conversations in the chat box. Today, we are happy to have amongst us few of the brightest minds of the world who would share their experiences and achievements and guide us to make the right career choices. We have with us Mr. Dipanjan Ray, an engineer graduate from Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology in South Korea in August 2020. Advita Nargant, currently a 11th grade student studying in Global Indian International School in Singapore with the GIIS Global Citizen Scholarship. Swapnil Das, currently a student of 9th grade in South Korea who is studying there with the prestigious KSS Scholarship. And we also have Mr. Tirthankar Bandhopadhyay, an ex-BBC journalist living in UK and mentoring young minds all over the world. We welcome you all. I'm also delighted to welcome Lieutenant Commander Mr. Kiranjit Singh Pannu, CEO, APG Schools, and Ma'am Anita Banerjee, Principal of APG Schools Salt Lake, and Ma'am Parumita Guhare, Principal of APG School Park Street. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Taking the proceedings of the day forward, I would now request Mr. Dipanjan Ray to share his views on careers and enlighten us.
All right. Hello. Am I audible? Avipsha, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
are. All right. Thank you. Okay, so can you guys see my screen first of all? Is it fine, Avipsha?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
All right. Okay. A very, very warm good evening to one and all. First of all, I'm extremely honored and privileged to be a part of this webinar today. And many thanks to the entire APJ family for giving all of us an opportunity to present and share our experience about the entire process of studying in schools and universities abroad with scholarships. And many thanks to all the many thanks to all the parents and students for attending this webinar on a Saturday evening. And hopefully we will be able to make this webinar a productive one for all of you. And all of you will have more ideas and more knowledge about the entire process of applying to top schools and universities abroad. So before I start, a brief introduction about myself. I'm basically from Kolkata, but I studied till grade 10th in Atomic Energy Central School in Narora in Uttar Pradesh. So till 10th grade, I was brought up in Uttar Pradesh. And after that, thanks to Global Citizen Scholarship, I went to GIIS Singapore for pursuing my 11th and 12th grade. So back then in 2013, I really didn't have much idea about the scholarship and we didn't know what to expect from it. But when we look back at the scholarship now, we can confidently and very proudly say that it was one of the finest decisions that we took as a family. Talking more about the scholarships, we have Advita. She will go into the intricacies of the scholarship and she will share more light about the requirements for it. All the ninth graders, eighth graders, it's a brilliant, brilliant opportunity for all of you to pursue 2 years for completely free. You guys can opt for CBSE curriculum or IB curriculum from GIIS Singapore. And one of the biggest benefits of taking up this scholarship is that you get some advantage of when you apply to universities as well, because this of course looks very, very good on your profile, right? And finally, after 2015, after doing my 2 years in GI Singapore, I got a full scholarship from Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology to do my engineering in industrial and systems engineering. So a lot of people keep asking me this question: why South Korea, why Hong Kong, why Singapore? These are not the most preferred destinations for Indians, right? We definitely consider the UK universities, US universities, but let me tell you, there are some very, very fine universities in Asia as well, and they consistently feature in top 100 in the world. And the best part about these colleges is that they have full scholarships as well. Okay, so we will go into the details of this scholarship as well. I hope there are some people who are in 11th grade and they are considering engineering options and maybe other options as well. I can help them out with these things. Okay, let's go ahead. So talking about a very, very good option in South Korea, there is something called Korea Science Academy. It's basically a preschool before you, pre-university for KAIST, okay? It's a high school of KAIST. So we have Swapnil Das in this room today, and he will explain the details about this scholarship. So many 8th, 9th grade students can consider this scholarship as well. It's a brilliant opportunity, guys. So let's talk about KAIST. Let's talk about my university, okay? Why should we actually consider KAIST? So if we look at the engineering options, KAIST consistently features in top 20 in the world, all right? And anyone who gets selected in this university gets a full scholarship from South Korean government. So if you are selected, you get a full scholarship. If you are not in, you can't pay and end up studying there. So that's a very, very good thing. We have a monthly stipend as well. Okay. One of the biggest advantages of studying in KAIST is exchange program. Okay. KAIST has got collaboration with some very, very fine universities like Georgia Tech, University of Toronto, University of British Columbia. Like I went for 1 semester to Technical University of Berlin in Germany. Then opportunity to work in labs with professors, like if you are an undergrad student and you want to get some hands-on experience of working in a lab with some PhD students and professors, then this is also a great opportunity. KAIST is a place to go. If you are really, really passionate about your field and you are really into research and engineering, then I would definitely recommend a lot of juniors to consider this. Now, what are the requirements for universities abroad? Is it like an IIT exam where that particular day determines your fate? No, it's not. The requirements for universities abroad, I'm not talking just about KAIST, like the general requirements for universities abroad, they need something called standardized tests. A lot of you must have heard about SAT, ACT, these standardized exams, TOEFL. So that's absolutely mandatory. The best part about these exams is that you can take them multiple times. So until the point you end up getting a good score, you can keep taking it. Of course, I won't recommend you to take them multiple times because they're pretty expensive exams. So study, work hard and give it once and get a good score. Okay. Talking about your consistent performance in Olympiads, your school performance, all these things matter. Whatever you are doing from 9th to 12th grade, if you are consistently scoring in 85, 90s range, then there will be opportunities for you guys at top universities abroad. Okay. Like KAIST definitely wants students to score above 90 consistently. There are some very, very good colleges like HKU, HKUST in Hong Kong. They also want you to consistently score in that zone. Okay. And all of you go to such a good school like Apeejay. I am sure school gives you a plethora of opportunities in each and every field. Right? Talking about NTSC scholarships, that's a very, very big advantage. I'm not an NTSC scholar, but if you are an NTSC scholar, that also gives you a big advantage for some universities. So recommendation letters, personal statement, what your teachers think about you, like what their recommendation letters to the university are, all these things matter. Personal statement, essays. Well, you guys are pretty young right now. I know that there are a lot of 8th, 9th grade students in this room, but it's a big part of the application process. And I will definitely recommend you guys to start thinking about these things slowly. Okay, students start thinking about these things when they are in 9th, 10th grade itself. Extracurricular activities, voluntary work, everything counts. So the university basically want a complete package. Okay, only one particular thing doesn't determine your admission. It's a combination of things that basically determine whether you get into a top university abroad or not. Okay, so I think that's a very, very fair and good way of judging a student. One particular exam should not be the criteria for judging people, right? You may not be in a good state prior to that exam and you don't get in Indian scenario, right? But overall, the overseas universities, they have a much fairer and a good way of assessing a student. Let's talk about scholarships. We all love scholarships, isn't it? Like you don't have to pay anything from your own pocket and you get into a university. That's brilliant, right? Let's talk about the Asian universities. So I think they are much more generous when it comes to universities in UK or Australia. So KAIST is one place where you don't sign any bond. You don't, if you get in, you just study there for free. And you have a monthly stipend as well. Okay. So they give full scholarships on merit. Okay. There are two very good universities in Singapore. I want everyone to take note of it, NUS and NTU. They also offer up to full scholarships, but there are some bond conditions attached to it. Okay, so a lot of people are somewhat reluctant to take it up because they may not want to stay in Singapore, right, for a couple of years or 4 years after graduating. Hong Kong as well, they are also pretty generous. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, it's the overall profile that matters. What you are doing over a long period of time, that counts. Are you good at your extracurricular activities and studying in such a wonderful school like Apeejay? That gives you opportunities to explore yourself in each and every field. So guys, please make the best use of these opportunities that the school provides. It's important that you really go for it in your field of passion. If you are good at soccer or good at lawn tennis, go for it. Good at dancing, not make a career out of it. If you are passionate enough, then you should go for it. But all these extracurriculars, and if you go up to some level in these things will really strengthen your profile. Okay, like academics and your extra, like SAT performance, those things are mandatory, but all these things in your bag will give you a big boost. Okay. So these are some of the advantages of studying abroad, according to me. Well, it was pretty challenging for me when I moved to South Korea, mainly because the number of Indians are not that many in my university. But then it's always a good thing to share classrooms with people from different countries, and you always get to learn a lot. Let's talk about flexibility in choosing major minor. Like when I went to my university, I thought chemical engineering was something that I wanted to do. But after 1 year, when I interacted with more seniors, I actually understood that industrial engineering is something that I think I would be more comfortable with. And this university gave me the flexibility to change major. In India, we don't really have that flexibility. All right. Picking up extra languages, like I had to learn South Korean language when I was in Korea. So all these extra things are actually pretty handy when you look back at it. Okay, exchange programs, I have already spoken about that in length. So this is a picture. Okay, so time to show you guys some pictures. This is a picture with Mr. Kiranjit sir. He is one of the finest mentors that for me, and he has been a great mentor for me, honestly. And I definitely feel that all of you are extremely blessed to have a wonderful mentor like him, who is constantly working on so many things, and he's always so positive. He always wants students to explore different fields and do their choice of field. Okay, that's very important. So this is a picture from GIS 2013 scholarship. I am the person in red. Well, I look very different now. It has been 8 years since that day. Okay, I'm a massive cricket fan. So this is a picture from Australia in Brisbane. I hope some of you know this match. Virat Kohli scored a half century, but India lost it, unfortunately. I'm a big cricket fan. I really enjoy going to cricket fields. And Kaist gave us an opportunity to visit Australia for some entrepreneurship events. I went for Global Innovation Exchange Program to University of Washington. So all these trips are fully funded by the university, and these are important for the students' overall development, as we get to work with students from different countries and different for some days. Okay, so that's a big advantage when you go to a university like KAIST. These are some pictures.
Dipanjan,
Yes, ma'am, please.
Dipanjan, the slides are just not moving. The slides are not moving.
The slides are not moving, really? I can
Yes, we cannot see a picture.
I can see some red mark on my slide. I don't know.
Sir, just clean that and disable the anonymity if you can.
Let me just stop sharing and start from scratch. Will that work?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay, sure. Sir, do you want me to share again?
Just 1 minute. Sir.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. One second. All right. Is it visible? No. 1 second. Is it fine now, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
The slideshow start. Let's start the slideshow.
So, did I manage to show this picture with Kiranjit, sir? Sorry. Well, someone.
Excuse me, this is Paramita, ma'am.
Yes.
Since we could not see anything beyond the first slide, I know you gave very good insights for the children.
Okay.
Please share from the first so that the children get to see what you're showing.
Right. Extremely sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, is this visible right now, my first slide?
Sir, slide is visible, but you have to run the slide.
Yeah. So I was changing slides from here. Okay. Can you see the slides now, sir? Is it fine? Like, is it changing?
I think we see you with Kiranjit, sir.
That picture. I'm not able to. Okay. Ma'am, so I'm not able to understand what's the issue is, because I was constantly changing it from my end, from current slide. Can you? Okay, now I changed it. Is this visible, ma'am?
Yes.
GIS Scholarship 2013. Is it fine, sir?
No.
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 Okay. So I can see someone doing something, like writing something on my slides. I don't understand how.
Sir,
Yes, someone would know.
Yeah, just go to this more option and disable the anonymity. Then no one can able to write it.
More option, disable annotation, right?
Yes.
That
Yes.
one? Okay. Okay. All right. Sir, can you please tell me if it's changing now? The slides.
Sir, perhaps you have started the slideshow, but over here we are getting this PowerPoint screen, but it is not quite enlarged to view the pictures as well as the texts.
Okay. So how can I fix that?
Sir,
Dipanjan, it's all right. You can go ahead with your talk. We can share this PowerPoint with the children later.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Okay. Extremely sorry for the inconvenience. All right. So it's a very important thing for all the juniors here. I just want you guys to enjoy the process. That's very important for universities abroad. Okay. They just don't look at one particular exam. It's the overall process that counts far more when you are applying to universities. As I have mentioned, your performance in SAT, ACT, the standardized exams, your scores in TOEFL, your performance in like school performance, so from 9th to 12th, plus your NTSE scores, all these things will count. And if you are passionate about something, please go ahead and do that to the best of your ability. If you are into sports, do that. If you are into extracurriculars, like you enjoy dancing or music or something, please make sure to do that. All right. So I will drop my WhatsApp number and my email ID in this chat box, and I will request everyone to drop me a message wherever you guys need help. And extremely sorry I couldn't share the slides with you guys. Really sorry. And now I will pass it on to Advita, who will share a lot of information about the GIS Global Citizen Scholarship, so that you guys know about the entry cases and what the process is for applying to this scholarship. Okay, many thanks. Thanks a lot.
Hi, am I visible? Am I audible?
Absolutely fine, Advita. Yes.
All right. I'll start sharing my screen now. Just a second. Yeah. So first and foremost, huge thank you to Apeejay Schools and Dipanjan for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It is such an honor, such a pleasure to be able to speak with and share my knowledge with so many young, promising individuals. I am Advita Nargund. I'm currently studying 11th grade CBSE in GIIS, that is Global Indian International School, Smart Campus, Singapore. I'm currently taking my classes online from Bangalore due to COVID and travel restrictions. Now that the restrictions are being lifted slowly and the situation is getting better, I expect to fly out to Singapore in the next 1 or 2 months. Now, how I landed a seat in such a big reputed school all the way in Singapore is what I will be sharing with you today. Now, as a child, like any other child, I dreamt of living outside India, living abroad. As I grew older, this dream slowly changed into studying abroad in the big top universities all over the world. And I'm sure a lot of you might share the same ambition. What you may already know is that universities abroad are quite different from universities in India. While universities in India primarily focus on your academic achievements, universities abroad look at your entire holistic profile. They look at school marks, your performance in tests in like Olympiads and TSE scholarships, extracurricular activities, voluntary work. They look at the recommendation letters, essays, personal statements, standardized tests, the whole package. With all of these demands in mind, I want to introduce you guys to the Global Citizen Scholarship offered by GIIS schools. The tuition fee to study in a GIIS school is about 55 to 60 lakhs, but the Global Citizen Scholarship allows you to study in GIIS completely for free for 11th and 12th grade. That is one hell of a snatch. It offers CBSE and IB curriculums. There's state-of-the-art, top-notch facilities, and it definitely increases your chances of getting accepted into top universities abroad. Now, GIS Smart Campus is the campus that I will be studying in. Although right now I am still living in India, I will be flying out and I will be studying in this campus. So I will talk to you about this one. The facilities offered here are almost anything and everything you could ask for. There's a digital classroom with smart boards and iPads, a culinary studio, radio and TV station, music and dance studio, science labs, indoor and outdoor play areas, the whole package again. Now, what the scholarship covers. It covers the full tuition fees, accommodation, and food expenses for 2 whole years. So you won't have to pay a single penny from your pocket. All you will have to pay for will be personal expenses, for which you are given a monthly stipend as well. There's a settlement allowance also covered and a one-time return airfare from Delhi to Singapore in this 2 year time span. The advantages of studying at GIS with the scholarship. The campus and the hostel facilities are great, as I've already mentioned. You will be sharing the hostel with some of the greatest minds in India. You will be studying alongside fellow scholarship holders. You will be spending most of your days with them, and it will obviously motivate you to work harder, aim higher, and you will end up challenging yourself. Another point is that living independently at such a young age teaches you a lot. Definitely,
Advita, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but your slides are paused.
I see, I see. Which slide is it paused on?
It's on the first slide, and I would request everyone to not write or scribble anything on the screen, please.
All right, is this visible now?
Yes, it's visible now.
Right. I guess I'll just not slideshow it. Living independently at such a young age teaches you a lot. You will be living in a completely different country in Singapore without your parents at just 16, 17 years old. It'll be a completely different experience, a whole new environment. It will definitely challenge you and will prepare you for the real world well beforehand. And as I mentioned before, most importantly, it will look great on the CV. For those who don't know what a CV is, it stands for curriculum vitae, which is basically your resume and profile, showing that you have studied at GIS with a full scholarship will definitely be a huge gold star on your profile. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. One second. Yeah. Now to get into the details, the eligibility for applying for the scholarship. Since you guys are in CBSE, you will have to get a minimum of 80% in all your examinations in ninth and 10th grade. Although, yeah, it says 80%, I highly encourage you to aim for the highest. I got into the scholarship with a 98% score, so really definitely aim for the top. Now, the entire application to selection process is composed of 3 stages: the written examination and 2 stages of interviews. There is also a beginning application phase, which I would like to call the sub-stage. Your application will be a prerequisite of documents which will have your academic and co-curricular records for the past 2 years, being ninth and 10th grade. You will have to include your 10th and ninth marks report cards, all pre-board report cards, certificates, awards, medals, trophies of any kind, and participation in events is highly important. Events may be maybe a book donation drive or an environmental awareness raising drive. Any kind of participation is highly influential to your application. Now the first stage, the written assessment. It will be conducted online and it will test your math, English and GK general knowledge skills. I have already written the test, so I can give you a little tip. If you are well versed with Olympiad level questions like IMO, IEO, or IGKO, continuously practice them. Try to make yourself very confident with those level of questions, and you will be well prepared for the entrance exam, the written assessment of the Global Citizen Scholarship. The second and third stages are interviews, which are conducted virtually, typically through Zoom, and they last about half an hour to 1 hour. Here you will be interviewed by a teacher or a coordinator from the school, and they will be asking you questions about yourself. They want to know your speaking skills, how you conduct yourself, and they just want to know you, your personality, and about yourself. They may ask academic questions as well to test your mental strength, your memory, or maybe mental math as well. So you'll have to be prepared for that. That is all from me. I would like to end by saying that this is definitely something you guys should try for. I'm I have not I've been here for about 1 month, and I've made a lot of bonds with a lot of the students and teachers. They have made me feel very welcome. They're very caring, and it's not at all hard to adapt and get used to this new system at all. So I highly encourage you guys to apply for this scholarship. It is definitely a huge opportunity, and yeah, I really hope to see you guys as my juniors soon. I will be handing it over to Swapnil Das now. He will be talking about the KSA scholarship.
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So thank you, APJ School and Dipanjan sir, for giving me this opportunity to present my KSA experience. Hello, I'm Swapnil Das. I'm from India and I'm currently studying in class 9. Under the guidance of my teacher Dipanjan sir, I was able to crack the Korean Science Academy KSA entrance examination. So actually, I did not have much time to prepare. So Dipanjan sir helped me choose some of the topics which I concentrated on and understood. The syllabus for the admission test was very vast. Some questions were very high level, so it is not possible to learn everything. But I still tried my best and passed the examination. I used to live in India and I recently came to Korea for KSA. My dad works in Korea, so I have lived in Korea for a few years before. My KSA school year begins in February, and the pre-education will begin from December. So now about KSA. The Korean Science Academy (KSA) provides scholarships for foreign students. About 15 students from around the world are selected for the scholarship every year. No more than 2 students can be selected from each country. The admission process consists of 2 stages. The first is the document evaluation, and the second is the written test and interviews. So here are the requirements. You have to be a foreign student. And it will be great if you have interest in science and mathematics. So the first stage of the administration process, the document evaluation, you'll have to submit your documents such as your student personal statements, recommendation letters from teachers, and academic records for the past 3 years. You have to also submit any awards or certificate you have received as credentials, for example, Spell Bee or Olympiad results. For the student personal statements, the student will have to answer some questions given, such as why did you apply for KSA or what are your strong points. After documents are checked and you are shortlisted, the second stage of the process will be the written test and interviews. The written test is a maths examination of about 100 minutes. This test will evaluate your mathematical skill sets on a wide range of topics, mainly geometry and algebra. And there are 2 interviews. One is the maths interview and the other is the English interview. The interviews will be of 10 minutes each. In the maths interview, you will simply have to discuss the answers of the test you have given with the interviewer. The interviewer will maybe ask like, why Did you solve the question? How did you solve it? In the English interview, you will have to read an article and answer questions given about the article. Here, your English speaking ability and fluency will be tested. In my English interview, I was given an article about how mathematical models are being used for education, and I was asked to state my views. So, why choose KSA? You see, going to KSA means traveling to South Korea. Korea is a very good country. It's one of the most peaceful countries in the world. The environment is clean and the country has a very fast Wi-Fi connection. When studying in KSA, if you score high enough, that means if you have enough credits, you'll be able to enter the Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, KAIST, which Dipanjan sir talked about a little. The KAIST University is fully sponsored by the Korean government, and it's one of the highly ranked universities in the world in the field of science. In KSA, you will have a great learning opportunity and experience. You will have to live in a dorm room, so you have to live alone with your friends, teachers. So that's it for my presentation. If you want to know more, you can check out the KSA website. And if you have any questions, you can ask Dipanjan sir or me. Here is my email address. Thank you very much.
I think Tirthankar uncle is the next speaker. Uncle, if you can start, it would be great.
Good evening, everybody. I'm not sure whether you are able to see me or not. It's a bit dark here. But anyway, good evening to all the teachers and the students of the Apeejay family. As I was listening, I was just reminded of my days in St. Xavier's College, where I did my higher secondary and my economics honors. And I used to walk past Park Street and walk past the Apeejay school there. It would be on the right-hand side. So I was just reminded of my days in Kolkata. I do not have any prescription like Dipanjan had. Dipanjan's father was my first friend in life, and we have got in touch again. And I find a very enterprising person, always ready to help with his team, the young minds. My daughter will be going to university next year. She'll be studying chemical engineering, and one of our top universities that she wants to go is Birmingham. She got an offer from Birmingham University, and I just saw the process, how she was preparing, watching lots of videos, talking to a lot of students who are doing not only chemical engineering, but also other streams in engineering. Reading a lot of personal statements which are available to her, reading books on the subject, and then actually summing it up in her personal statement. I thought, oh my God, it was great. I never did so much of effort in my whole life, whether it's education or it was in my work. Coming to my work, I started my journalism when I was in university. I used to study economics in Calcutta University, and then I started working for a Bengali newspaper called Jugantor. And from there, I moved to Indian Express. I was working in Financial Express and then to Press Trust of India. When I was in Press Trust of India, that's when I was hired by the BBC to work for the World Service in 1999. And I worked with the BBC till about end of 2012. And since 2008, I was feeling that, I want to do something different. And I did a second master's in globalization and development part-time from the School of Oriental and African Studies. And then I worked for a year with a charity which was involved with the BBC. And then I decided, no, this is not the right thing for me. So I moved into mentoring of students coming from challenging and underprivileged background. The reason I'm telling this story is that there is no full stop in life. and you can do whatever you want as long you are honest and passionate about what you are trying to do. So after a long career of 20 years in journalism, when I decided that I want to leave my job, my friends laughed at me. People I knew, they thought that I was taking a very wrong decision. It was challenging, but I think gradually you settle down and you understand your way. So what I would like to suggest the young talents of Apeejay schools is that, listen to your heart always. Always listen to yourself, what you want to do. I mean, there are a lot of things which are called, the demonstration effect. You are with a friend. I don't want to take geography because, I don't like the geography teacher. The geography teacher will not be with you for all your life. You love the subject and you like it or not. That's the most important thing. I want to do a course because I want to be with my best buddy. Now, your buddy might have a different aptitude. So it's very, at the end of the day, we are all by ourselves. In the Bible, they say, dust thou art, to dust returnest. We all come from the dust and we all go back to the dust, and it's individual life. So it is very important that you understand yourself. It's not an easy task to look at yourself. And when I actually work with the underprivileged students and people coming from challenging background, I always, sorry, any question? I always tell them to reflect on themselves, make some notes, write diaries, try to look into yourself and find out what is the most suitable thing for yourself. A lot of people are very keen on studying at UK universities. Now, there are many layers of universities in the UK, and there are the top layers, and then there are others as well. So it is very important to do a proper research about which level of university you want to apply for. It's very easy to be carried away. A friend's son who is studying now in Nottingham University was literally conned by some websites which operates both in India and the UK. And he approached me, and I wrote to the university to find out that it was actually a fake profile, which was a fake website that was going around. So it is very important to get in touch with the university, the student services and other people, even if you are aspiring to apply for that. So just develop that rapport when you are applying. Maybe you will be applying in 2 years' time, but it's a good idea to do some research right from now. And the most important thing, to find yourself and find what actually interests you. That's the most important thing. So look for yourself and see how you'll be happy and stimulated intellectually and otherwise, and professionally as well. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Uncle. I hope everyone can hear me. So I think we have got 10 minutes, around 10 minutes for some Q&A session. So I would request all the parents and the students to post some questions in the chat box. We would love to take some relevant questions, and we will try our best to answer to the best of our ability. So it would be great if all of you can share some questions, any queries related to today's session. Otherwise, we will move on from here. I think we can wait for 1 more minute. So someone posted if the GIS scholarship will help us in getting good jobs also. Okay, can you help us with insights on universities in UK and US, please? So when I applied to universities after my Singapore stint, after my couple of years in Singapore, I basically applied to 25 universities across the globe. I applied to all US universities like Purdue, Georgia Tech, Minnesota Twin Cities, Stanford, I got into some and I was rejected by a lot of them as well, but I didn't manage to get a good enough scholarship to go to those universities. Plus, talking about UK, I applied to 5 universities in UK through UCAS portal, UCAS, if some of you know about it. And I got into 4 of them. So I can definitely guide you guys more about for the process related to that as well. So 1 minute, I will come to someone called Arnesh Giri's question, like if the GI scholarship will help us in getting good jobs also. I want to share a slide with you guys. 1 second. Avipsha, can you please tell me if my slide is visible now, this slide?
Yes, it is visible, sir.
It is visible. Okay. So I already said that I'm a big cricket fan. So coming to that question, this is a famous quote from the famous Australian cricketer Alan Border. Take care of the runs, the dollars will take care of themselves. So it's very, very important that you keep your focus on the process and you just enjoy the process to the best of your ability. And you do something that you really are passionate about, and the dollars and everything will just follow. Okay. If you are really, really good and passionate about in your field, then I don't think you need to take care of those things. All right. So it's very important to stay grounded and work hard in whatever field you are passionate about. That's very, very important. So I think we have some more. Okay. How do you manage to stay alone in a different country from such a young age? Okay. About the preparations required for IITs. Okay, so I'll be very, very honest. After 10th grade, I had actually taken admission in one of the coaching centers, Akash Institute, for preparation for IIT JEE. Okay, but luckily this GI scholarship happened and I moved to Singapore. But even there, I was preparing for IIT and keeping an eye on the overseas universities process. So I was trying to work out both the things. But then my parents motivated me to go ahead and just focus on one thing properly, which was the overseas admission process. But I definitely feel that if you are working on the preparation for IIT JEE, like if you are doing that level of maths, physics, chemistry, that will definitely help you when you go to top universities abroad, because the level of physics, maths, grilling in those universities, it's pretty challenging. So it's always a very, very good thing to work on this IIT preparation as well. But I know it's very, very difficult to balance both the things, because you have to focus on SAT preparation and writing this personal statement. So requirement for overseas universities is a very different ball game to what it takes in India, right? So minimum percentage requirement to get into KAIST, they don't mention these things on their website. Of course, they want you to be in high 90s consistently over a long period of time, like your 10th, 11th, 12th, everything counts. Overall, after that, a good SAT score is very, very important. Then having something extra in your profile, like this GI scholarship definitely played a big role and helped me a lot. All right. So I think we can end the Q&A session here. And all of us, please, you can drop me an email, drop all of us an email, or our WhatsApp. We will share our WhatsApp number with all of you. Okay. So before I hand it over to Avipsha, I'm very, very grateful to Kiranjit sir for giving all of us an opportunity. Special mention to Sumana ma'am, Tina ma'am, for working so hard and making this happen. Many, many thanks to the principal ma'ams of both the schools and all the parents, all the students who have given their time for making this webinar happen. And Avipsha, I think you have done a great job. I wish I was got this much confident when I was in 11th grade. You are really, really doing a good job. Over to Avipsha, please.
Thank you all for this enriching session. Now I would request Ma'am Anindita Banerjee to share her views. I think Ma'am is facing some technical issues. So moving on, I would request Ma'am Paramita Guhare to share her ideas on today's program.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Uh, Thank you, Dipanjan, and the rest of the uh, members who had joined today, Advaita and I'm forgetting the name, and Mr. Banerjee, Mr. Tirtha Banerjee. Thank you very much. It was really enriching in the sense that we had uh, we had students from different sections, in a sense, children who are in the age group of 15, 16, as well as children who were in the age group of 17, 18. So must have been extremely encouraging for the students belonging to our schools, thinking that these young children, they were all by themselves, as J. Dhruv Kumar came up with the question, how do you manage? Well, you make new friends, you get to know new people, and you become, more mature when you are there by yourself. Well, when it comes to career opportunities, Albert Einstein had very famously once said that everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, people will believe that the fish is stupid. So, it is as Mr. Banerjee mentioned that you have to choose your own calling, listen to your heart, and do what you wish best. In our times, it was all about being a doctor, being a teacher, being a banker, or in the graphic design, and perhaps a teacher like me. But now opportunities are more and varied, and sessions like this with people who are not exactly into career counseling but talking about their own experience, I think is more enriching and more relatable. That's what made it that this program so endearing and very very interesting. I must say, Dipanjan, I think we will have to call you back again because we were full capacity and many of the students, my teachers are writing to me, they could not join. So I don't know, maybe Shumana will look into it, Shumana and Tina together. Please find out who are the ones who could not join. Perhaps you can share the PPTs which were shared by their uh, the three participants, and they can have a view of it, and if possible, have a second session because it was really, really encouraging. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, ma'am. I would love to thank Mr. Tirthankar uncle who took out time amidst his busy schedule. I'm really grateful to uncle and Swapnil and Advita who also have a very different who are in different time zones and who are working very hard, and they took out time amidst their busy schedules. Many thanks to all of them, and ma'am, thank you for your encouraging words. Hopefully we can try and contribute more, and hopefully we can give back something more to the society and the students in near future. Definitely.
Swapnil, thank you so much. I'm aging and I'm forgetting names at times. So thank you so much for your time that you spend with our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. What an enlightening evening. I am myself so motivated to try and reach the stars. The world has so much to offer, and if guided right, success is just around the corner. On behalf of Apeejay Schools, I extend my gratitude to one and all present here, making this evening an enlightening one. I would now request everyone to stand for the national anthem and keep yourself muted, after which we disperse. Thank you, everyone.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मङ्गलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे